session items.
Nothing on email.
All right. May we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Gray,
Here.
trustee Jackson Miller,
Here.
trustee Donnelly,
Present.
trustee Dickinson, trustee Edmondson.
Present. The board is convening to close session.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Pledge of Allegiance.
One down. All right, good evening to our wonderful board, wonderful administrative leadership. It is my pleasure and great esteem and honor to be here to introduce one of our dolphin scholar par excellence in the flesh, Liam Clark, Santa Cruz Gardens dolphin, the highest caliber, represents the Santa Cruz Gardens way of safe, kind, and responsible every day, as does his brother Momo. Liam was nominated today by his teacher, Sarah Marsh, to be our pledge leader and to begin this board meeting. And it is my pleasure to introduce him to you.
Please stand. Put your hand on your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Soquel Union Elementary School District mission. Staff, students, parents, and the community help ensure that each child develops the skills and character necessary for lifelong achievement and responsible citizenship in a diverse world.
All right.
Hey Liam, how you doing? Great, my name's Robert. Welcome to our board meeting. If it's okay, I have something that your principal wrote about you. Would it be okay if I read that to everybody? Fantastic. So Liam is 8 years old and recently had his birthday, September 19th. His favorite food is sushi and frozen desserts of all kinds. And I will note that frozen desserts is capitalized. Imagine that was an emphasis. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
His favorite thing to do is play with friends outside. He enjoys biking and jumping on the trampoline the most. One of Liam's favorite pastimes is reading, and it's even better with his cats Echo and Shadow. He has been enjoying graphic novels lately, especially The Amulet. Ooh, that's a good one. And Yoki Watch series, Yokai.
It's okay.
Cool, thanks, Momo. He is really into the fantasy genre. A few more of Liam's passions. He's an avid actor and performs with All About Theater.
Wow.
He has just finished a production of Finding Nemo and is currently preparing for Alice in Wonderland. Liam is very creative and has an artistic personality. Planting in the garden with his mom and building with his dad are some of his favorite things to do with his parents. When he grows up, Liam would like to be a botanist or a zoologist. Fittingly, he was a praying mantis for Halloween. I hope you brought pictures. Feel free to ask Liam for a cool animal fact or two, especially about cockroaches.
Cockroaches can live a week without their head.
A week? How do they see? They just bump into walls?
I think they have another brain in their body.
Wow.
And then after a week, they just,
Maybe.
head goes back. They get a new head.
That's
a
a
good fact.
very, very
Yeah.
cool fact.
Yeah.
Would it be okay if we went around the room and asked with the trustees and asked if we asked a few questions of you? Sure. Perfect. Thank you very much.
I can start. Tell me about your gardening at home. What things do you grow?
I like to grow radishes, mustard greens, chives.
It's amazing. So, do you eat
Wow.
all of those
Wow.
things too? Do you like to eat
Yes.
radishes? Amazing. That's wonderful. And does your brother help you? Or just you and your mom?
Usually just me and my mom.
So you're at a great school for
Yeah.
gardening.
Yeah, absolutely. Liam, I see you have a whole support crew here. Do you mind introducing us to the folks who are here supporting you? Is that okay? Let us know who's here.
Yes.
Who are those people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My brother Mo, and, my grandpa, Papa.
Thank you. I could just see everyone like being excited behind you. So it'd be nice if we got to
Right,
meet them. And then I'm greedy because I have a second question. I understand you like biking. Where's your favorite place to bike?
I really like biking at the school on weekends.
Yeah. It is fun there. Thank you.
You're quite the reader. You read often, it looks like, and so these books I haven't heard of before. I don't have kids around, but they sound like they're really. You really have to concentrate on the characters, right? And you're good at that because you're acting too. So you have to remember lines and do all this too. And Alice in Wonderland, what are you going to be?
I'm gonna be a main card, and I have a few solos.
Okay, solos as in speaking or
In songs.
songs. So you're a singer
Wow.
as well. Oh, that's very humble.
Yeah.
Wow, they're great. You play any instruments?
Well, I do play a little bit of the piano.
Well, that's really good. You're talented,
Thank you.
very talented.
Cool. I mean, I gotta ask, do you know any of the songs by heart yet?
In the play?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm debating whether I should ask you to stick one or not. I don't want to put you too much on the spot.
Sing it right now.
No problem. Totally get it. Totally get it. You got a great
You
voice.
gotta go to the play.
Right.
Give it away.
Right. It's my $6.
You promote your play and you come, you'll see the end, yeah.
Okay, so tell me another interesting fact about cockroaches, because the brain in the neck thing blew me away.
They can live, they can be squished kind of and not die.
Oh, you're right about that. I was
Yeah.
all over the place. Awesome. Thanks, Liam.
I was wondering, so you go to Santa Cruz Gardens and they're a sage, they have an emphasis in the sage program. And I heard that you like you want to be a zoologist or a botanist. So I was wondering, what's your favorite thing about the sage program at your school?
I like well, I like planting plants and holding Lilyberry, the pet Komodo dragon. Wait, no, bearded dragon.
Do you have a favorite animal or plant?
I like geckos
Yeah.
and I really like Venus flytraps.
Ah, well, Liam, you are the highlight of our night. Thank you so much for
Well, we
starting.
gotta ask him about his pets. You mentioned a couple pets.
Echo and Shadow.
That's right.
Oh,
Cat,
God.
2 cats. Do you have anything else running around the house?
No, but my grandma and grandpa too live next door. They had 2 cats, one of them died. And our cats fight with the other cat because we moved in. So the Sadie, our grandma and grandpa's cat, still thinks that she rules that spot. So they fight a lot.
Grandpa's over there going, yep. They do. They do.
Liam, I bet you could stand up there and speak all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to them. Go ahead.
All right. Liam, I want to say, we would like to say thank you so much. You are the highlight of our night, starting us off with the pledge, and we learned all about you, and you're so interesting. Thank you for starting our meeting off. Would you like to come grab a prize up here, and maybe Momo would like one? And we would like to have a photo if you guys wouldn't mind. Can we get a photo? All right. You're gonna come pick a. And we'll give you this as your.
Good principal, teacher, and the photo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Parents.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Grandparents, students.
You write stories as well? Nope.
Certificate.
Oh, yeah, you found a bug. Oh, it's not a bug.
Bee.
Oh, it is. It's a little peapod.
A lot of people.
There's a lot of cool stuff in there.
Let's take it quick.
Grandpa, I'm gonna find my doctor hat for you.
Oh, okay.
Works right now.
I should have worn mine.
How was that?
Yeah.
Sarah, you need to step forward just a little bit.
Excuse me.
Thank you.
What's that? She takes.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't wear, I was gonna wear my pink ones.
Great.
Wear my
Instagram.
Great night, have a good
night.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, Carlo, but their dad, but can he accept the award on behalf of his dad?
Oh, sure.
Seems like a natural
Wait,
thing.
there's another one. Come on in, man.
We'll make it quick,
Yeah.
we'll make it quick.
That's funny.
That's the next thing.
I think so. I mean, we have a little bit of business.
I will next time. I didn't see it. I knew we were honoring that.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
you made it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay, okay. I'll make you a. There you go, there's
All right,
your
thank you.
pseudo.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't, we want, I'll walk.
Okay.
No, Pop gonna sit?
Okay.
Oh, we could just.
You've been
Yeah, we
summoned.
just wanna honor, we're gonna just move forward in our agenda, so, we're
Sure.
recognizing Home and School Club presidents tonight.
Excellent.
And Colin is Home and School Club president over at Santa Cruz Gardens, Liam's dad, so we were gonna have Liam accept this, but we can have Pop do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's yeoman's work and all done voluntarily, and our schools
Yes.
wouldn't thrive without those Home and School
Oh,
clubs and
yeah.
presidents, so.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you so much. What else?
Yeah.
I did not know that. Actually, I need this. I'm just gonna borrow that.
Sure.
I'm alarmed. All right, back to the board meeting. May I have an adoption of the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
Yes. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the report out of closed session is that there's nothing to report. May I have an adoption of the consent agenda?
I'll make the motion.
A second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on to recognition items.
All right, so as we just did for one school, tonight, it is our honor to recognize Home and School Club presidents at each of our sites. The Home and School Clubs in general do such amazing work. I think in any school and any district, parent clubs are integral. In a district, our small size, they're even more so. And we partner with them on so many things. There's work that's done on the playground. There's amazing fundraising that is done on behalf of students, all in the name of giving students more opportunities, more enrichment opportunities. And we're just so grateful. And we probably don't take time to say enough how grateful we are, but we wanted to take time in this official capacity to say on behalf of the administration and the board, just how grateful we are for the work. I mean, there is no more, work that's done in the true spirit of what's best for kids. These are voluntary positions, immense amount of time that is spent on these endeavors, all in the name of just giving our students more opportunities. So with that, let's start with New Brighton, and I'm gonna nominate, I'm not nominating. Recognize, he's already been nominated, that's why he's in that position. I'm gonna have Numa come on up, so. Thank you for everything you did over there. I really appreciate it. And want to give you that over there. I'm sure the board would like to shake your hand too. Yes. Frame that and good.
Great job, man.
Yeah.
Right. Good to see you. Next time you'll be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I need a couple days off. We're here 2 years.
How long is it?
2 years, yeah. No, well, it's a 4-year position, but yeah, I'll be done in 2 years.
Yeah, you took 2 years off.
I did before I finished the home and school. I had to give you the opportunity.
Brittany, is there anything you'd like to say on Numa's contributions?
Thank you. I do want to, take a moment. Yeah, so Numa does have 2 8th grade girls at our school who formerly were at Main Street. Numa was the president at Main Street Elementary, spent a couple years doing that, and then has been on the board at New Brighton for the last 3 years. Now is our president. So this year in particular, there's a couple of big items for New Brighton that we're very thankful to the Home and School Club for. And that is one, our wrestling mats, which I don't know when was the last time they were new again, but too long ago. Very exciting for New Brighton, as well as they are paying for our homework club. So we have a homework club, after school club that has been
Hopefully we can add
a new
that.
opportunity this quarter. So we're very excited about that for our students.
Wow.
So thank you to Numa.
Thank you. You don't have to say anything. Would you like to say anything to the board? It's your opportunity. Everybody sit back for 5 minutes.
I can't really say, you can't beat the kid that was up. I mean,
What do you?
I don't know much about any insects or anything like that, but I could make some. No, I'm grateful for this because it's a great opportunity to help out and be part of the community. It's important. I do it for the kids and love of the community. And yeah, I'm just grateful to do what we can. I wish, I think one of the big challenges we're having right now is getting people involved again. That's our biggest challenge. Hopefully we'll get back to there, because I remember when my kids first started at Main Street, I was involved with Home and School Club before I even started there, just because of the community that we naturally had, So we're trying to get that going again, and onward and upward, we'll
Thank you for all you
get it
do.
going.
Really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks, you guys.
Let's move on to Soquel Elementary School, and this is Jessica. Is Jessica here? Come on up, Jessica. Jessica Tribus.
All right.
Thank you so much for all you
Yeah,
do over there.
yeah.
There's a little something to recognize you. For the board, I'd like to say thank you also.
Yeah. Congratulations. Thanks for coming. Really, it's a lot of work.
Thank you. Yeah.
Be a trustee.
No, I will accept this, but the team I have around me that brought me on, I mean, they are just trusting you, doing so much work. It's a lot of work. So I get to accept this with my name on it, but really I am doing very little.
And we know how much, there's so many things you do. One in particular is the music and art program support, which is, you couldn't ask for two more amazing teachers to support, right? And Diane and Susie, but we're so thankful. We always say in a district, we'd like to be able to support that on our own, but the situation is what the situation is, and the Home and School Club there always comes through to support extra enrichment opportunities. So if you want to say anything about that or anything else that the Home and School Club is focused on.
Yeah, I will for like 2 minutes.
All right, go for it.
That Principal Witter's not here because he has just been a great partner.
Great, you have a partner right there though.
Yeah, so I just actually got involved a few months ago for the first time. And, what I see is this incredible community. We are working so hard to deliver on art and music programs. And there's a lot more stuff that the community wants and needs. And so what we're doing right now what in parallel to all of the fundraising and all of the events and everything else, and getting, like you said, more and more people just aware and engaged, even like a little bit, you know. So my thing has been, does everyone at this school, this is my goal, does everyone at this school know what we do? Like, can you go up to just the basics? And then secondly, do you know how to provide feedback? Like whatever that means. Like, do you know how to get in touch with us? And then the third thing, what is like a bite-sized thing that you can do, that you can get involved throughout the year? And so that's sort of what we've been doing, but there's a lot of work to do. Such a great community. And my child is in 2nd grade with Mrs. Donaldson. So Santino.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Gonna move on to Main Street now, and I see that one of our co-presidents is here, and that's Charlotte McCosey. Come on, Charlotte. Thanks for being here tonight. Just something to honor us. While you go around, I will just say FOMS, as they're known.
Thanks for all your work.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Honestly, I accept this tonight too, but it's really on behalf of our entire.
Yes,
board.
and maybe you could give that to Casey for me, your co-president. All right, yeah, Casey Ryberg.
She sadly could not make it last minute, but, you know, we have an amazing board of almost entirely new members this year. So I think 10 or 12 of us, and the amount of work that we're doing, it's really honestly people pulling from all avenues trying to make it happen. And, you know, we're very fortunate. I'm very new to this role. This is obviously my first role too. So getting to know the board in that way and doing this, and, you know, it's just been such a pleasure, and it's honestly an honor to accept this. So
Thank you for stepping up. Principal Proctor, would you like to say a few words?
I'd just like to say that thanks to all the parents who are helping out, especially Charlotte and Main Street, because they too provide a lot of bells and whistles.
Yes.
As I like to call it, and having worked at all the sites, I know it takes just takes ordinary folks who are interested in trying to help out. And we're all benefiting from their work.
Yeah, we have a big fundraiser coming up there pretty soon.
One night in Vegas.
One night in Vegas. I heard Elvis, my promoting. Yeah, he's back.
And they're sponsoring a movie night this Friday, Secret Life of Pets.
Oh.
6 p.m. on Blacktop. Bring your,
Yeah.
bring your blanket, there'll be hot chocolate and
Popcorn and
popcorn,
food truck there.
food truck, so.
This kind of thing just add to the spirit of the school so much.
Bill.
Yeah.
Enriching the experience for our students and staff too.
We're so lucky to have parents like all of you, so thank you again. for
Yeah.
coming out tonight.
Thank you.
And you're under no obligation to stay, but but you're free to. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good for that place.
Yes, of course.
And I really want to give credit to Ted, if you don't mind. Ted always makes a point of saying recognition. I know you all feel that way, but recognition is like the best part of the meeting. And one thing Ted always kind of pushes us on in a very gentle but mindful way is like, let's do more of it. Like, who else can we recognize, and who better than our home and school club president? So we're gonna keep trying to, we're gonna keep trying to find more folks to recognize. And there's so many great things that go on in our district, as student and staff and parent level, and we'll just keep trying to bring more.
That's part of the meeting.
That's part of the meeting, yep. I don't know, the top approach was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
We adjourned.
No.
We should do more of that, yeah. January, that's board recognition month, so there you go.
All right. Moving on to public communications. Do we have any communications emailed before the meeting?
You have anything on email? But we do have one of these days.
All right,
There you go.
excellent.
Yep.
All right, so we have an in-person. Marilyn. Before we call you up, I'd just like to read something. Members of the audience are welcome to address the Board of Trustees during public communications regarding items not listed on the agenda. The trustees cannot take action on these matters unless such matters are placed on a future agenda according to law. If the item is on the agenda, you'll have the opportunity to speak at the time the agenda item is discussed. Please address the board president. The proceedings are video recorded. All right, Marilyn Garrett, would you like to share with us? And you have 3 minutes.
I see you have suggestions for future meetings. I think it would be good to have this local author speak on this very important topic. The unfortunate truth about vaccines, exposing the vaccine orthodoxy, because these kids get a huge number of vaccines that are linked to autism. The author spoke locally. I had invited you. He titled the talk, 10 Reasons Why Vaccines Are the Problem, Not the Solution. And from the back of the book, it says, vaccines are hailed as a miracle of medical innovation attributed to saving millions of lives. Everyone is taught to believe that vaccinations are responsible for ridding the world of dreaded diseases such as smallpox and polio. This view is summarized here by the term vaccine orthodoxy contends that all vaccines are safe and effective and the benefits outweigh the risks. Yet when looking from an historical perspective that chronicles the evolution of diseases and the introduction of vaccinations, a much different picture is created that has staggering implications. The expanded vaccine schedule has ballooned over the past 30 years or so, has directly correlated with the rapid rise in autism, neurodevelopmental disabilities, and other health issues. This book contends, as a result of the undue influence of the pharmaceutical industry, the medical establishment, the politicians, and the mainstream news media have failed to seriously address these life-altering concerns. Instead of fostering an open and transparent discussion of vaccine efficacy, there has been a concerted effort to censor any information critical of vaccination that counters the officially sanctioned narrative. The unfortunate truth about vaccines presents the side of the story that questions the entire premise regarding the efficacy of vaccinations, rarely delineated and poorly understood by the public. The overuse of vaccine in a one-size-fits-all world is having a devastating impact that will affect generations to come unless some sanity is restored. And I know of a personal suicide recently. Very sad. This child, when he was vaccinated, he stopped breathing. I don't know what they did to resuscitate, but he had symptoms of autism thereafter. I'll leave you with this. If an apple contained aluminum, mercury, formaldehyde, MSG, would you eat it? These are in vaccines. LearnTheRisk.org. Anything injected is far more dangerous than anything eaten. On the back, the toxic ingredients in vaccine are linked to all these illnesses. Please take one and pass the rest.
Thank you, Marilyn.
And
thank you.
It's a serious health issue. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other public comment? No.
Nothing on you.
Okay. All right, moving on to standing reports, items from the superintendent and assistant superintendents.
Right, let me start, sure. I'll just hit a few key points for the sake of time. Something to celebrate is our attendance rate. Attendance rate is up over a full percentage point in the district compared to this point last year. Yay. That's in-seat attendance. You add to that our newly revamped independent study opportunity for as little as 1 day. This promises to enhance our attendance rates even more moving forward. So thank you to students who have to show up, staff who teach them and support them, parents who have to get them there. That's all contributed to our increased attendance rate. So there's a really clear data point for you. Students who are in class more, learn more, and there's always the byproduct of increased fiscal capacity for our bottom line. Second point I would like to make is just because we haven't had a board meeting since College and Career Week, is that was hugely successful at all of our sites. So thank you to all the teachers and staff. I want to say especially counselors on this one because they really pulled together those career cafes. If you haven't seen the video that Mark Lewis put together about the amazing array from geologists to engineers to tow truck drivers, and all the different ones that support our community, really was an amazing opportunity for our students to be exposed to a wide array of careers and really give them that spark that they might want to pursue in their future. And finally, it kind of seems like it would be remiss if I didn't say something. The votes are in for Measure P. We're on the cusp of approval with the current number sitting at 54.7%. What do we have to get to? 55%. The next update from county elections is scheduled to be 4 o'clock tomorrow. So we're hopeful that that gap will be filled in. Thanks to everybody who supported us. That's all for me.
All right, great. Well, thank you. Just for the board to know, always super busy in the area of teaching and learning from the classroom to outside of the classroom. But just I wanted to focus on 3 items tonight. The first is on October 24th. Scott and Wilson and I attended the City of Capitola council meeting. And we were presenting on our tile project, our joint beautification project. And the city council had lots of amazing positive comments to make on behalf of the work of our students and staff and everyone who have participated in that partnership. It is absolutely lovely. And it did culminate with a video that was created by our own Mark Lewis. And we were able to share that with the city council, and hopefully you've seen it as well. It's been linked in several of our newsletters. So that was a big highlight on the 24th. On the 1st, we had a non-student day, which was a staff development day. And while, you know, I think it was a necessary and compliance day, we called it, because we did CPR, first aid, AED training, and Title IX training on that day. What I will say is I think that the main trainer that was selected from the first aid, CPR, and AED company was funny and very knowledgeable. I learned a lot about the 3 items that they were covering, but I learned a lot about bodies and medicine that day. And when you're just really doing a sit and get for a long time, that's a tough call because you got to talk the whole time. And I think she did a really great job. And then the Title IX training in the afternoon was a new mandate by the state of California that we rolled into that time. So it wasn't an additional hour that our staff needed to spend outside of their workday. And the other great news about that day was that we served about 150 employees in development. We've never served that number of our staff members in one day in development. So even though it was a non-work day for a lot of our classified staff, they came in and they did the training anyway, side by side with their colleagues. So it was just a really great thing to see. And I think it was really positive for both groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like I said, not always the most interesting stuff, but really, really great to have that done and us being compliant. And then the last thing that I'll share, again, so many good things happening, but just because it happened today, our stewardship team met today. And the stewardship team is comprised of 16 members, classified, certificated, and administrative staff members. We're adding 2 more classified members starting our next meeting. But we really talk about stewarding our district in positive ways in instruction and student support. And we have counselors in that group. So we talk about the whole child. Every one of our staff members is focused on the whole child when we're talking about what to do next. But we talk about teaching and learning. We talk about data. We talk about our own development as adults how we want to develop ourselves, whether we want to see other people in their craft and reflect on their craft and transfer those practices into what we do. And we sometimes start at one point and go to a completely different point by the end. And that happened today, which was amazing. It's beautiful because it's very hard to do that with a team of 16 people and all come out feeling like, okay, we came to something better than what we started with. So I just want to really give a shout out to that team. Beautiful experience, and we'll have another one in December on the 4th. So those are my updates.
Thank you. Jessica, quick question.
Yeah.
Where are the AEDs? Are they in each office of each school?
They're in each office at each school and in the gymnasium at New Brighton. So they have 2.
And some schools are in their staff lounge.
But we all know how to use them now. It's great.
And I'll be quick. Main Street should be receiving all of their shelving next week. So fingers crossed that it's on time. So it'll be kind of all hands on deck to help get that up and going and so forth, so we can have our beautiful library back. So we're excited for that. Another exciting thing, today we received a bill from PG&E, which was actually a credit. Although this credit's would be larger than normal, but it was a $10,000 credit. Yeah, so being that they're trying to catch up with everything and so forth, so as we go, we're gonna see it kind of level out. I don't think we're gonna see $10,000 again next month, but hey, you never see a credit from PG&E, so we're super excited about that. And then the other thing is just we're in full swing with first interim that will be presented at our next board meeting on the 18th of December. So just busy little bees.
Great. All right, thanks for those updates. Moving on to CSEA. Do we have any word?
Do I have anything from them? No.
No?
Chairs.
We wish them well.
Come on.
CSEA?
Yeah.
Or sorry,
I'm
SEA?
at CA.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Oh, yeah, it's totally fine. So, at SoCal Elementary, SoCal celebrated Dia de los Muertos during recess today, bringing our school community together for this special cultural tradition. Our Halloween parade and our dance party were a big hit. We had an excellent turnout of parents and district staff to support the activities. There were several to enjoy the festivities, sorry. Field trips, second grade visited the butterflies and natural bridges. Fifth grade had a trip to Rancho de los Osos. Many classes also enjoyed fun educational field trips, local pumpkin patches. Our fall carnival on the 25th was a great event with amazing dance troops and community members and a haunted house. Santa Cruz Gardens, they also celebrated Dia de los Muertos community altar with support of literacy specialist Tina Bonar and Karen Yee. They had time to do a deep dive into data and assess needs. Their fall festival was amazing. And Brian Boyce's class created the Halloween event, the haunted house. And Billy Kessler captured the moments in a fantastic short video. Main Street had a really fun Halloween parade. Thanks to J. Mark, Mike MC Willen for keeping the energy high. Some of the classes learned about Dia de los Muertos and made their own ofrendas, altars. So it's typed in like English or Spanish. Marigold schools on the tradition. Also had amazing field trips. Fifth grade had a fantastic time visiting Levi Stadium. Fourth grade had enjoyed fun educational to the Elkhorn Salute. And they had at Main Street, they had a free movie night for their school community, and FOMS had worked hard for that. And they want to do that Fun Night in Vegas fundraiser on the 16th. And at New Brighton, the annual costume contest was a huge success. There's a great turnout with a lot of participants. It really helped to build school community and spirit. Yesterday, honor roll and perfect attendance awards recipients received an extended lunch and a cookie in celebration of achievements. Many students had earned honor roll or perfect attendance, and in some cases both. So rightfully, they got 2 cookies. Lots of smiley and excited students were bouncing around campus afterwards. Thanks. So it says thanks for listening to our report and and all around, like, it was really fun to come and talk to you. Like, it was just all positive. So it was really fun to like, yeah.
Celebration right
Yeah.
here, too.
So it was a really great time. It's nice to see you guys anytime on campus. Room 205, I'm upstairs.
Thank you so much for that update.
Yeah.
Jamie.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And then there was one.
He's just here because he loves it.
Yeah, it happens every meeting I go to. People start serving coffee.
How
Okay.
about them Dodgers?
How about them Dodgers?
All right, items from trustees. Who would like to start?
I have nothing to report out on, but thank you again for the artwork that's up here and adds some wonderful color to this boardroom. And then here's the art from this is also, but from Santa Cruz Gardens.
In fact, that's Momo's.
Oh. Didn't realize that.
Natural bridges and the field trip.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Full circle. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh. Read the names earlier next time.
Very cool.
All right.
Heather, I'll just jump in and say I got to attend SoCal's Fall Carnival along with Jim, but it was really nice. The Home and School Club invited us to come and chat with anyone who was interested in hearing about our facilities needs. But it was my first time at that particular event and really, really blown away by the community involvement and how much, how many families were there, how much fun was being had, and how much genuine curiosity people have about. We had our scheme. What do we call it? Schematic. Thank you. So a lot of interest. So that was really fun to be able to do that.
Nice.
I just had a brief thing I wanted to share. I know we have something on the agenda about discipline, and there was a random social media post about something else that happened at another school, and there was someone in this district who said there was something similar that happened here, and this is how our school handled it. And it was like they were very pleased with how New Brighton had handled that situation. And so I just wanted to sort of comment that it's really great how we have a lot of restorative practices, and when there are things that are a little bit more serious, they are taken seriously. And at least in this ad hoc, random comment that was acknowledged. So
Cool. I went to a Aptos Chamber event and a couple Rotary Club meetings. And I'm not sure if I talked about Measure P. But yeah, fun times. Lots of people very interested in everything that's going on here, especially with our school district. A lot of people behind us.
All right. Thanks for those updates. I don't remember the financial FPT meeting that was before.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But you can still talk about it.
That's okay. It was talked about, no, because
Yeah. Okay. It all blends together after a while.
It does. All right, let's move on. Presentations, information, and discussion items. Moving on to item 8A, discussion regarding the LCAP.
Well, thank you. Just happy to be able to share our LCAP bite every time we meet. This bite is associated with Goal 4. All schools will engage the entire community of staff, students, and families in strengths-oriented partnerships that support learning for all. And specifically tonight, I'll just give a little brief shout out to our Cradle and Career partners. We are so thankful and grateful to have been able to add to our LCAP this last year some financial support for our Cradle to Career partners, specifically at SoCal Elementary. Her name is Cristal Medina, and I actually saw her today when I was going to the school for our stewardship meeting. And she was out in front of the school talking with families, working on a project. And I said, how are things going? And that's absolutely fantastic. I mean, she loves the things that she's doing. And so I'm going to just talk about a few of those things that she's doing. Scott did receive a report from some data summaries from last year's contacts. So just to quantify, she had 158 family contacts last year, and that wasn't just like I'm meeting you and shaking your hand, but it's actual contacts, like putting together families with services or meeting with them individually about how to support them directly. And that's a lot of families over the course of 1 year. And so she's very well trusted by the community and works really well as an integral part of their staff. So she is working on, or she did work on connecting families with breakfasts, nutrition classes. She works to support their ELAC processes, which is their English Learner Advisory Council. She works with their home and school club. She does conflict resolution workshops, autism awareness month, and things like Earth Day and doing screenators and those kinds of things. So bringing education to the families, which is something that they've asked for quite a bit. And Zumba. And then of course, Staff Appreciation Week. And now that she's an integrated part of the staff and working with the families and the staff to connect some of those things, I think is really admirable. And just a couple of the things that the family's talking about wanting more of. And that was just fun, engaging after school and weekend activities for families. The second one that was highest was connecting students with mental health and wellness resources. And those are for students and families alike. And we do have lots of linkage resources through Cradle to Career through our county of Santa Cruz. And then supporting a positive culture for the school. And I think we've seen a lot of evidence of that this year, especially in some of the activities that you have attended. And just looking at the number of families that are involved and the way that they're getting involved, and how we can see a lot of cultural representation and excitement in those events more so than ever. And I think that this is just going to continue to grow, and we're so happy to be able to support it just a little bit through our LCAP, because really we wish we had this at every school, and at Soquel Elementary it's just a really beautiful marriage. So just happy to report on that tonight.
Wonderful.
What would be the weekend activity?
I think, the families are looking at ways to connect with one another. So some of those are like social activities. They can be things like carnivals and events and things like that. We in our department, we're looking at ways of bringing students together on Saturdays through ELAB, and doing things like spending a day in the garden. And really kind of trying to look at not just outside activities that are happening in our community, but inside activities that can build within the school community. And so I think those are things that families are looking at too. They want to make connections with other families, and they want to make other connections with kids.
It's great.
Yeah, that is great.
Yeah.
What is her physical office space like, or like where is she kind of located when people are looking for her?
Yeah. I mean, she's almost never in her office. She's almost always kind of right out in that between the playground and the front area of the school, but it's connected to the cafeteria, multi-purpose room area. Like I said, she's there very often. But she is permanently semi-permanently housed there. And that's also the same building that we have our school psychologist and some other people. So she's not by herself.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Cradle to
Thanks for
Stage
that.
is kind of the same concept. That's a good book.
I've never read it.
Would it be okay if we close that door? Would that be okay with people?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I'll get it,
Do you
I'll
mind
get
doing
it.
that for us, Jim? Oh,
You can stretch.
Okay.
Sorry, I wanted to stretch.
Yeah. I thought it's Dave Grohl's mom. Wrote this book, and she interviewed moms of other
Famous artists.
famous artists, and how, they came about and their story. And it's actually pretty cool.
It's called Cradle to Stage.
You guys would know about that.
You will
All
like
right.
this.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that update.
You're welcome.
All right, moving on to 8B, discussion regarding board policy 5144.1, suspension and expulsion due process.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this forward for Student Services Director Chris Alimos. So our cabinet team has really been working hard to take their area of board policies and continuously update them. So I just want to say how much I appreciate that, because when it's a team approach, there's so much less likelihood that those updating of board policies and administrative regulations fall by the wayside. And so this one is about suspension and expulsion. And of course, over the years, there has been new legislation about eliminating suspensions, full on suspension from schools for defiance, right? And so that started with the primary grades and now has expanded all the way through our entire system of kindergarten through 8th grade, or TK through 8th grade in this instance. And so that doesn't mean suspensions are not a thing anymore. It just means it can't be for the reason of defiance. And this board policy update reflects that now. As you will see, instead of saying K through 3, it says K through 8. And that's the gist of this update. To stay in line with the new law.
All right, questions or
I have
comments
a
from the board?
question. So on suspensions, it looks like there's only these 4 scenarios that someone could be suspended, and it has to be related.
That's for being recommended for expulsion. So yeah. 40 Education Code 48900 has a series of things that a student can be suspended for. And I remember this one because we used to suspend a lot back in the 90s. Section K of 48900 used to be for defiance. And so that's just not a section in that ed code anymore.
So, but this says a student may be suspended or expelled only when the behavior is related to school activity or school attendance occurring. So then there are these 4 situations.
I think that's more about the school's like authority, like if they're coming or going from school, the school still has some authority there. I don't think these are the situations.
I don't, but
behaviors?
they're not the behaviors, but they're
Okay.
like the parameters. So for example, we looked at something last year that happened off campus. It may have been after school, so did that fall
So I
into
see
the-
your question is more about this board policy, not about the update. Is that correct? So the update is that
Yeah.
we can't suspend for defiance anymore. But that's not your question, right? Your question is more general, like when
Yes.
okay, so to clarify that, so it's often a little bit of a gray area, I would say, right? Is where our jurisdiction begins and ends. Usually they say from the time the student leaves home to come to school, to the time they reach back on their porch or wherever they walk through the threshold of their door. But there's also the impact that it has on the school community, right? And so oftentimes this comes into play with social media. It's like, did that happen at school, right? Like there's
Yeah.
a little bit of this new frontier, right? It's like, well, whether it happened at school or not, it's impacting school because kids are talking and kids are having, negative interactions about what was posted. And so that does fall within our jurisdiction.
Okay.
And the incident that you described last year kind of fell into that similar category.
How would you define, I mean, I get an idea and I know it's written here with, truant, tardy, otherwise absent from school activities. How do you define defiant?
How do I define it?
Yeah.
So the spirit of this is, think about, we don't want to encourage defiance. That's certainly not the point of this, right? But perhaps in future and in previous generations, just saying, to the teacher, not following directions regularly in class, could have led to a suspension. And that's not the case anymore. So just not following directions, I think is kind of the category that I would put it in. And so, yeah, that's not something that we still correct that behavior. We still have lots of strategies for correcting that behavior because following directions and being in step with the teacher is hugely important. We just don't suspend for it.
Totally gotcha. Thank you.
Yep.
Other questions or comments? All right. That's just an information item. Moving on to 8C, discussion regarding board policy 1114, district sponsored social media.
The ever-changing world of social media.
They continue to change. How long do we have tonight?
So the thrust of the changes to this board policy is really to keep up with some of the, newer language terms, language and practice of that world of social media and staying current with that. Specifically, it's been expanded to express a philosophical statement from the board that there is value in having these tools, right? Like that, why do we want to have social media? We don't just have it to have it, right? That we want to celebrate the accomplishments of our students and staff. And we want to share information. And this is just a tool to do that. So those things have always been goals of any good governing board, right? And this is just another tool to do it and to use it in that spirit. And then also to think about specifics such as continuing, and I'll say we're not perfect on this, but a lot of work has been done, continuing to make those social media opportunities available to individuals with disabilities. So thinking about how can we make it for those that are hearing impaired more accessible, for those that are visually impaired, how we can make it more accessible. So that's a continuous involvement, and the board policy reflects that. And we will continue to work in that capacity as well. And then there's other areas that it gets into really fine night kind of things, is like, even though we do, like most social media, our main tools are Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Those are the three areas that we put a lot of time into and post a lot of postings to. Is that even though the nature of those items is to do likes and comments, that it doesn't create a open forum where there's necessarily or free speech rights that can't be somewhat contained. And that's why one of the parts of our administrative regulation for this item is that you state what's the purpose of this, right? What's the purpose of this tool? And it's, it's not to create just this public forum to just have a free for all. It's to share information. It's to share celebrations of students and staff. And that respectful interactions have to be are regularly monitored. And so this board policy has always kind of governed those areas, and this update just tries to keep in step with the ever-changing world of social media.
All right, any questions or comments?
I appreciate you making it more accessible. How do we make it less accessible?
Yeah.
No, that's the way.
I mean,
that's got, yeah.
Properly accessible. That's what we like to go for, right?
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to recognize, I know when I was on the Home and School Club board, one of our main ways of getting information out to folks was using a Facebook group and sharing things on Facebook and Instagram. And so I think we have to recognize people get information there. So and it's a great way to really, I think it would not be great if that were our only way of soliciting feedback, or right, because you're only reaching a certain number of people, but celebrating our successes and sharing information, like it's a good practice. People expect it. And so it's nice to have these very clear parameters and being mindful about, gosh, let's say we had a board vacancy or something and all we did was post a picture and the picture had all of the script within it. Well, a person in my family who's visually impaired wouldn't be able to get that information. And so underneath the photo, you write, the same words so that their reader would say it out loud to them. So it all makes sense to me.
And it's just also a good opportunity while we're talking about it to give a shout out to Mark Lewis. He's been mentioned a few times tonight, but a while back, the board did want to see kind of like, how can we use this tool of video to better promote our schools? And boy, he has really captured that for us. So if you haven't been to our YouTube page,
yes,
SoCal Scoop, or Instagram, where a lot of the shorter videos are posted, please do it. It's a lot of work goes into it, and really, besides being fun, it just really shows how cool our schools are.
Do you have access to the dashboard so you can see how many people are looking at it?
Yeah.
What's the volume like on?
Depends on each individual video. Some of the ones we'd like to get out to more people, like we did, to me, a great one on digital citizenship, in which Capitola PD came over and presented grade level presentations on digital citizenship and items to be aware of for each grade level at New Brighton. They allowed us to record that, and Mark stitched it together so that anybody that wasn't there can see what were their kids involved in, or if they don't have a kid in New Brighton, they can see like what are the things they need to kind of be in the loop for. So some of those that I think, man, this is one that people have been asking for. The viewership hasn't been as high as maybe as we would like. And then some of the fun ones, as you might imagine, Halloween one was like greatly viewed, right? And that's the nature of these things, right? But the key is that the opportunity is there for folks to see kind of some of these more meaty ones and some that are just fun and show the spirit of the school.
Anytime you have people acting as the insurance agents of the year.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's critical. Yeah. Can we track that? Like when we look at doing the LCAP presentations and we're getting information out to the community and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe make that, because it'd be interesting to see how our efforts are reaching the community or something like that, and have some metrics to go by, and maybe we, you know, who knows?
It shows you how many views there are for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, moving on to action items. Consider adopting a resolution recognizing National Native American Heritage Month.
Yeah, so kudos to Robert for bringing this to the forefront. It certainly is in line with all of the work we've done with equity to recognize historically marginalized groups. And so this one, asked the board to pass this resolution recognizing November as Native American Heritage Month. Along with that, just some real specifics of recognizing that Native Americans are descendants of the origin, indigenous inhabitants of what is now the United States. And that also kind of baked into this is that the Friday after Thanksgiving, not just Black Friday, it's a Native American Heritage Day. And so just a great way to honor this group of folks.
All right, any questions or comments?
I'm happy we're doing, all have the names we have for all of our communities, like Aptos, you know, these are all the names of our original tribes out here, you know. Kind of interesting to see a lot of the history that comes through here, and I think our students can really latch on to where they live in our community and how it started out and how it grew.
So with the resolutions, I mean, is there a group you could mail or email a resolution in support? Because you have the tribal band, and then
sure, I'll research that.
Yeah, be interesting, you know, let them know we are in support of them.
That'd be cool. Maybe they can come to the school or something like that too.
Yeah.
Represent.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little history, you know, right from their mouths.
All right. So this is an action item and it's a resolution. So can we have a vote?
A motion.
Oh, motion, sorry.
I'll make a
Jumping
motion.
the gun. Oh,
Robert's making a motion.
okay.
You make it, I
There you
second.
go.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, sorry.
Speaking to us, she's quick on the draw, man.
I heard Robert make the motion.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
My bad. Okay, trustee Edmondson,
Aye.
trustee Dickinson,
Aye.
trustee Donnelly,
Aye.
trustee Jackson Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Gray.
Aye. All right, motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Number 9B, consider adopting a resolution for the pre-qualification process for MBEP subcontractors.
Okay, so this helps us to continue our process for the leaseback for the field and any other projects that we may be doing. And school districts are required to receive pre-qualification packets from subcontractors. So we can then review the packets. We can then set up interviews with the subcontractors to make sure that we're doing our due diligence and picking the right subcontractors with the proper types of training and the proper backgrounds, and making sure that, you know, projects that we worked on in the past have been good, solid projects without any issues.
Great. Any questions or comments?
I was really impressed with the questionnaire. It took me like half an hour to go through the 60 pages of it. And I love the detail that you get into on how to qualify these folks. And it seems just like backstop after backstop after backstop. And I just really appreciate the work that whoever's putting into this thing. I mean, I feel like this gives us a great framework to choose the right folks.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, and that's important to us, making sure we have qualified contractors on the job.
Yeah. Do you have a hammer?
I had a question about that, sorry, but because the questionnaire was for the prime contractors, right? So
There's
next
they're
one.
they're both,
So
yeah.
is it the same for the?
So yeah,
next
so
one?
yes, it's the
Okay.
same. So, and the prime contractors, which is the next resolution, those are the project managers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right, other questions or comments? No? All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, resolution?
Trustee Edmondson,
Aye.
trustee Dickinson,
Aye.
trustee Donnelly,
Aye.
trustee Jackson Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Gray.
Aye. All right, motion passes 5-0. Consider adopting resolution for the pre-qualification process of prime subcontractors.
So this is pretty much, it's the same thing, except this is the project manager piece of it for the lease back. So again, we'd be collecting the qualification questionnaire, and then we'd be doing our due diligence to go through all those packets and then set up interviews and so forth.
All right, any questions or comments?
I just want to ask something so he didn't
Yeah.
sit here for like 2 hours.
That's all right, that's all right.
Do it.
What's the flying speed?
Just be quiet for 2 hours. No, it's just nice, to have, we're just on a really aggressive path here. We want to get this going. We want these people, these contractors to know that we have a really good project for them. And if things break the way we think they are, we have more projects coming down the pipe. And so if we can get these people going and wrapped up before the end of the year, they'll be hungry because, early spring, late winter is contractor season. That's when everybody's out looking for contractors to do summer projects. So if we can get these guys under contract and lined up before then we'll have sharper pencils from contractors where they want to really get a good job like this. So we're being very aggressive.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, sure. No.
Yeah. And if we find 140 or so more votes, we have a lot more work for them.
Yeah. I've set an alarm on my phone. So I know it's 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah.
I hope it's not AM.
Yeah, I already got that one set.
Yeah.
That one's already set.
Oh, okay. Right, great.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, may I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to adopt the resolution for the pre-qualification process for prime subcontractors.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, all in, resolution.
Trustee Edmondson.
Aye.
Trustee Dickinson.
Aye.
Trustee Donnelly.
Aye.
Trustee Jackson Miller.
Aye.
Trustee Gray.
Aye. All right, motion passes 5-0. Thanks for a great meeting, everybody. If you have any correspondence, feel free to send it to the superintendent or I. Future board agenda items. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make the motion to adjourn.
Sorry, Ted.
Wait, a second, do we do a second? Ted?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting is adjourned.
Every time we do a resolution, I always think of Jeff.